Alright, Rockstar Games, a beloved gaming developer that a lot of fans really love. Well, they've been losing faith and love from a good portion of the fans over the last few years. What is going on, Rockstar? Like, why are you all of a sudden changing from being a quality company to being quantity? It doesn't make sense. Let's roll the video, shall we? We got a bit to discuss. Let's start her. So, Red Dead Redemption 1, just a simple port, just a couple days ago was announced that it was only going to be coming to PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. I was about to say Xbox One, but we're all used to saying Xbox One on the side with PlayStation 4 because of being the same console generation. But, yeah, Red Dead Redemption 1 ain't getting a remake, not even a remaster, just a simple port, maybe some slightly cleaner visuals of the original assets in the game, which, I'll be completely honest with you, even comparing with some of the newer games that are on the current generation, the PlayStation 5 and whatnot, with even some of the new recent re-release and release games out there, I actually will admit that Red Dead Redemption 1, 2010's blockbuster hit, still looks incredibly good. To this day, like when you're talking about realistic environments and graphics and such, that game still looks incredible. Even on a PlayStation 3, the lowest resolution of the two consoles that game runs at. It runs at 1080p on the 360, as long as you have these consoles in HD with an HD plugin, and the PlayStation 3 version runs only at 720p. And I will admit, it still looks good for the visuals and such. But a simple port, just a simple port, and then not even getting a PlayStation 5 native port or Xbox Series X native port. Now, the Xbox side of things, okay, I can understand. Like, the game runs at a tremendous, beautiful, clean, crisp 4K. And it already looks like it's remastered as it is because how much clean and detail that the game looks because of the 4K resolution. Well, there hasn't even been nothing mentioned about, even though this game is only coming to the PlayStation 4, not the PlayStation 5. You could, however, play the PS4 version on the PlayStation 5 via backwards compatibility. Even to an extent that they're not getting like some sorts of an improvement like 4K or 60 FPS at least, which would have been great. Like, that game could easily hit 4K at a solid 60 frames a second. Maybe even like our big friend, our buddy Rich of Review Tech USA even stated, it could probably even run at 120 FPS at 4K just because of how old it is. But he said if it was at least 60, people would be completely satisfied. And we would too. So yeah, I mean, not even including like a 4K enhancement, which we don't know yet. It might have a PlayStation 4 Pro enhancement for some sort of 4K feel to it. But as it clearly stands, it's just going to be 1080p even if you play it on the base PS4 or the PS4 Pro, or even via backwards compatibility on the PS5 at only 30 frames a second. And that game could easily hit 60 frames on at least the Series X and Series S and PlayStation 5 consoles. Like, that game could easily hit 60. But then it's understandable on the PS4 Pro if it couldn't, as long as they did a 4K enhancement. But we don't really know at this point. But what we're getting at is it's not even a remaster at the least. It's not even a remaster that they just redid the assets a little bit. It's just a simple PlayStation 3 port, Xbox 360 port, just being able to play it on the PlayStation 4, and then PlayStation 5 out backwards compatibility, as well as the Nintendo Switch. Now, the Nintendo Switch, however, is going to be incredible. I will admit, out of the two new ports of it, I will probably admit the probably Switch probably is the worst, or not worse, I meant the worth more of the $50 price tag. But the PlayStation 4, it's like, well, if you already have it for the PlayStation 3 and you still got your PS3, you're just better off to freaking play that game on the PlayStation 3, even though I know it had some frame rate problems quite a bit on there, and it might play better on the PlayStation 4, but it's not going to be like that much to justify a $50 extra price tag for buying the same game that you technically already own. Whereas also on the Xbox side of things, Rockstar and the company Double 11, I think is who it is that was doing the port, could actually enable 60 frames a second on the Series X and PS5. And you know what that means? Even if they do that, Xbox doesn't have to pay nothing. You still got the game, you just get a free upgrade. So it's very strange how Xbox doesn't have to pay nothing if there does come some upgrades like higher frame rate on the current newer generation consoles. PlayStation 4 only gets that version, not even a native PS5 version. They haven't even said nothing about 4K or whatever, and paying another $50 if you already own the game for PlayStation 3, it's so weird. And then the Nintendo Switch, first time ever on a Nintendo console, being able to play it on the go, that's where it actually is worth $50. Even if the game doesn't even run at a native 720p on the handheld. If it only plays at 480 or 540p, people would still love that, especially Nintendo fans would. That's a great game, and that's going to sell hundreds of copies, if not probably thousands for the Switch, because of how good that the Switch is. But yeah, so alongside all of this, you also got the GTA Trilogy that also was released back in late 2021 on November 11th. Also, it was a disaster. Now, that was Grove Street Games. That was like the worst thing that Rockstar has ever done. Well, now that's changed. Just a simple Red Dead Redemption port, that's actually worse than the GTA Trilogy. And then, over the last few years, Rockstar was not even saying nothing or giving any details until early 2022 about the next installment of Grand Theft Auto 6. They were just milking and milking and milking Grand Theft Auto 5 into the ground every single week for basically ever since the game was launched back in 2013. So, what is going on with you, Rockstar? Like, this is not you. Especially in the early 2000s. Like, I don't know what is going on with Rockstar here lately. But we think we might have a clue of why Rockstar has been the way that they've been. And not just with Red Dead, but with the GTA Trilogy and with milking Grand Theft Auto 5 to the ground. We probably know what it is. Yeah, you can already have guessed it. It's probably Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two Interactive, I think, has gotten so good in realizing about how much money that Grand Theft Auto 5 is making them, and they're forcing Rockstar to not make Grand Theft Auto 6 like the fans want until here recently in the last couple years when all the fans basically forced and backlashed on them for basically re-releasing GTA 5 for like the third time for this console generation. So that's what I'm thinking that this whole situation is, because if you think back in the day, like early 2000s, Rockstar was bringing incredible, beautiful games that play good, perform good, had great storyline to them, like the GTA Trilogy that was original on the PlayStation 2 with Vice City, GTA 3, San Andreas, and then moving on to the next gen at the time, the 360 and PS3 with GTA 4, and that was also even way big of a seller. Then the first Red Dead Redemption in 2010, also a huge seller. Then GTA 5 a couple years later, even a big seller. And then this is where it does get understanding from the 5-year standpoint from GTA 5 to Red Dead Redemption 2 because of how big Red Dead Redemption 2 is. And, and they don't support the game or do anything for it right now, which they should. But even then, for 5 years, they stayed true and made Red Dead Redemption 2 and delayed it a few times so that way the game was good. And then guess what? After it came out, it was freaking blowing up and selling. Like, Rockstar was making pretty good quality games all the way up to last 2018's Red Dead Redemption 2. Then things started changing into a different direction after that. They started producing content for Red Dead Redemption 2 for quite a few years I should say, and then all of a sudden, they didn't fix the bugs, even though the game is still incredibly selling well. It's not selling as much as GTA 5, but the game is still, selling, incredibly well. It's, one of the top best-selling games of all time, sitting at around almost 60 million copies. And the game is getting ready to turn 5 years old, so it's not even 5 years old as of today on August 9th of 2023. It is not even fully 5 years old yet. We still got 2.5 months until it turns 5 years old. And it's already sitting at close to 60 million units. That's great. That's insane. That's insanity. So, yeah, then after all that, then the GTA Trilogy was released, broken, unprofessional, didn't even look right on some of the textures, especially characters like Ryder from GTA San Andreas with his arms. That just looked funky and so weird that you could compare that to the original, and the original looked better. Then after that, now we're discussing right now with Red Dead Redemption not even getting remastered, not even getting a remake, and not even getting a native 4K version of 60 frames on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. These last few years, Rockstar's not been themselves. And I can already assure you, it's Take-Two Interactive that has basically changed Rockstar because they want the money. And they seen that GTA 5 was making the money, so they just were like, yep, nope, don't be making GTA 6. We're still making money on this. We don't care what the fans want. The money is all we want. That's what's going on. That's what I think this whole situation is going on with Rockstar. It's not Rockstar that's doing it. It's Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of them. Because they're making so much money in revenue off of something, they're telling Rockstar to not do this and then only do this or rush these out. And stuff's not coming out perfect or even great. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't know what's going on with Rockstar at this point, but it does sound like to me it's Take-Two Interactive that's making all these choices and that's ruining Rockstar's reputation from how good that they were in the past. Because ever since Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018, ever since it was released, then beyond, stuff has been changing and turning into a different direction for Rockstar. So, but I'm sure it's probably Take-Two Interactive that's making these choices, telling Rockstar to do this and to do that, and not actually be smart and make good quality games anymore. I can already assure you that's exactly what they're doing. Because that's why they re-released GTA 5 for basically a third time, when people could literally still play it on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. They could have just added those graphics to those versions as long as you play them on the new generation via backwards compatibility. That's all they could have done instead of re-releasing the game a third time. That's all they could have done, is just done an update that improves the graphics and the frame rate and the resolution. But no, Take-Two Interactive wanted to resell it again for, $20, $30, whatever the heck it's for. So yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with Rockstar, but yeah, these last few years, stuff is going into the wrong direction, and fans are starting to lose their faith and love for the company that they originally loved. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Rockstar, but it's just not looking good for them with these last two big releases of the simple port of Red Dead Redemption and the GTA Trilogy that was released 2 years ago. But this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you guys could, smack that like button, and also be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to this channel, and be sure to leave us your thoughts down in the comment section down below of Rockstar now making horrible choices with the simple port of Red Dead 1 and freaking the GTA Trilogy disaster and such, with all of that, as well as, GTA 6 taking for way ever long than what it initially was going to be because of GTA 5's success. So yeah, just leave us your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll keep you posted with more content. And without further ado, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.